the Indian companies are aggressively adopting and controlling this environmental emission risk or problems. But in the energy sector, continuously changing from conventional to non-conventional source of energy, as I quoted example from the, not in the non-conventional solar wind, but recently nuclear is also added for this source as a non-conventional source of energy.
Hello and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm Sunny Pancholi, and today we have an exceptional guest, someone who has spent over 3 decades shaping the future of risk management, internal audits, and operations in the energy sector. If you have ever wondered how industries like natural gas, petrochemicals, and infrastructure navigate complex risks, ensure regulatory compliance, and drive operational excellence, then this conversation is for you. Joining us today is Mr. G N Sharma, a seasoned industry leader with 32 years of experience in multi-site operations, industrial auditing, and risk management. His expertise spans fintech banking, city gas distribution, and net zero carbon emissions, making him a key player in ensuring businesses operate with the highest standards of efficiency, compliance, and sustainability. From leading large-scale audits for GAIL to playing a crucial role in maintaining integrity in gas transmission and distribution networks, Mr. Sharma has consistently championed operational excellence and corporate governance. But beyond the frameworks and policies, he is also a mentor, a strategist, and someone deeply committed to shaping the future of risk management. So, get ready because today we are diving deep into his career journey, leadership insights, and the evolving world of corporate risk and compliance. Mr. Sharma, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders.
Good morning, Sunny sir. Myself, G N Sharma. I feel privileged to here with this platform to interacting with you regarding my professional journey, which have been kept on last 32 years. So thank you very much.
Great, sir. Great to hear that, sir. Great. So, Mr. Sharma, 32 years in the industry, that's an entire legacy of experience, leadership, and transformation. But every great career has a starting point, a moment where it all began. So, take us back to that time. Was there a defining moment, a challenge, or even a mentor that set you on this incredible path? And, looking back now, did you ever imagine your journey would unfold the way it has?
Yeah, totally 32 years in the particular petroleum and natural gas industry. And I've been associated with the GAIL from 1991 to 2023. And working with various businesses, say natural gas transmission, LPG gas transmission, LPG plant, maintenance, and then petrochemical constructions, city gas distribution, and corporate governance, and finally internal audit, dominantly technical, but with adding my additional skill for fintech banking risk management from IIM Lucknow. This is a very good skill we have added in my career days. So I assigned the job in internal audit, technically as well as finance also. So I am good, very good from my last careers.
Great, sir. Great. But I would also like to ask you, as you took us back to the time, was there a defining moment, a challenge, or even a mentor that set you on this incredible path? And looking back now, did you ever imagine your journey would unfold the way it has?
Yes, since I am very from the technical mechanical engineer, technical background. So at the very earliest stage in the GAIL, when the GAIL was undertaking their expansion of laying the network pipelines or spur lines to catering the need of two important sectors, fertilizer and power plant sectors. So at that time, at the nascent stage of GAIL, and project construction is not so mature. So I was in there to handle the such typical situations in the terms of not only the technical but outer environment stakeholders. So at that time I managed this so very successfully, but it's a very typical journey at that time. First challenge I have faced is with the design of the system, which is not compatible with that time of the operation and which is required for satisfaction of the customer. So with the help of that time of project management consultant, we call that at site and discuss the design deficiencies and take the corrective action within the own house systems. And so we tide over this situation and save the cost, substantial cost of operational cost at the approximately 7 to 8 lakhs rupee per annum by correcting the system and design deficiencies at that time. And another challenge is just for handling the outer customer outer stakeholder, who is a farmer. He is used to complain just for giving a adequate compensation regarding the land we have grabbed for the installing our pipeline system installation at SV. So ultimately, management is not so sure about this. They ultimately entrust is this responsibility. You do it single-handedly and tide over from this situation. So by following the code and practices, PMP 1962 and various approval from the state governments, I single-handedly acquire this land and permanently dispose of this long pending grievances, which is related to very important stakeholder in pipeline industries, farmers. So I make it satisfied and hand over all the documents and all the system to management. So that is really very challenging, but I get tied over from this. And another challenge I faced at that time is the contractual term and condition, which is not so mature and the customer enters with this agreement have some lower side. So what for getting this situation, we involve the corporate office and our local management, see this document on agreement, the specification which we are giving is perfectly, so there is no chance to put our additional expenses to meet their needs. So ultimately we agreed, and with the joint discussion and agreement, management ultimately felt that the system is to be driven as per the contract agreement right now. If there is additional need of this customer, then we have charged for that additional value-added services. So ultimately negotiation was done and we charge 83,000 rupee per day for the additional input we are just giving to the customer. Otherwise, it will be unnoticed, then we will in the lower side. So my takeaway is that first you need to clearly specify the term condition of contract, especially in technical parameters, and ensure that we have to follow and satisfy your customer amicably without any disturbance and all that. So this is the basically business advantage I took at that time by reading the contract agreement thoroughly and convince the customer, and then we get the advantage for monetary advantage for my organization GAIL. So this is the initial journey. And then I took a center stage work at GAIL Vijaypur. That is very important installation and strategically located installation for run the GAIL business. Because at this installation, we have 3 or 4 business vertical. This is a petrochemicals plant is there, LPG plant production is there, compressor station is there, and associated customers are related to there at this installations. So we got challenges from that installations, and we do the wonderful thing. Challenging is just an LPG maintenance plant. the GAIL management entrusted to me to, as per the corporate memorandum of understanding, 2 parameters have been assigned to me just for improving the efficiency of running LPG plant by 2 to 3% by adding an additional facility of cooling tower since beginning to and live it to connect with the plant without disturbing the plant efficiency and running plant operations within the time and within the assigned budget. So what I challenged field at that time, at the last stage of commissioning, the service provider contractor has withdrawn this assignment from the GAIL. So this is a challenges posed for me. And associated subcontractor also complained to the district authority for not getting the payment and like these situations. So I tied over from this system amicably, and with the support of our local management and operation team there, I arrange everything and make this system completed within the time manner and within due date. So, and for the improving the efficiency of the LPG plant unit 11 by 2 to 3%. So I feel very comfortable and proud and gaining a lot of rich experience for handling this project. And another part of this is the reduction of, this is related to ESG governance part. So reduction of GHG emissions from the GAIL operations, pipeline transmission and LPG, and LPG both the units. So we conducted a survey with our hydrocarbon sister agency ONGC by taking their facility, infrared detection system we call, and we take the advantage for quantify how the methane emission are emitted in the atmosphere within our operation. So we targeted it and corrected and reduced it at that time. Meanwhile, GAIL got this facility infrared camera from the Israel and expertise their team for doing that facility for reduce the emissions in their operations. So in last year, when I was in audit, so I suggested the management that this is a very important ESG parameter, environmental control system is to be there, and incorporate this particular activity to measurable, quantifiable, and reducible manner in your preventive maintenance plan regularly, so that we can control it, measurable, and then report it. So it is a fair way to handle this environmental risk from the operation. And again, this reduction of the flare gas systems from the GAIL compressor station. We have conducted the study and take the relevant measure, required measure as per the standard, and we reduce that time. So this is a continuous process, and this world is very face this challenging situation from this global warming, and this is the main cause of this maximum dominant factor of the climate change is emission of hydrocarbon and carbon dioxide. So this is
Absolutely,
that one part of journey.
That's such an incredible journey, Mr. Sharma. And it's amazing to hear how your early experiences shaped the leader you are today. So, Mr. Sharma, talking about risk is something every organization talks about, but not every organization truly understands. So, someone who has spent years overseeing internal audits and risk assessment, you have seen firsthand where companies get it right and where they completely miss the mark. So, from your experience, what's one critical risk that organizations tend to overlook yet could have serious consequences if not addressed?
See, in particular section in oil and gas sector, due to changing the business scenario and environment. So there are two important immediate addressable risks. That is, first is environmental risk, and second is the keeping in view the geopolitical and fragmentation of world countries bloc So you have to assure your raw material, which is natural gas, which we are importing, it has to be uninterrupted supplied so that your business can be sustainable and regular explore. So in the domestic front, we are continuously facing the depletion of hydrocarbon productions, and we rely on the import of the natural gas. So these two factors is very important. First is the ensure the uninterrupted supply from the other countries, LNG, keeping in view the geopolitics and various disturbances happening nowadays. So this is the supply risk is very one of the important one. And second risk is the environmental risk, which is creating disturbance not only the business but humankind also. That is the climate change. So in that climate change risk, GAIL is addressing this risk in a very fantastic way, keeping in the national and international standards and organizing the things in the good way. As per the regulator, CBLODR, GAIL rolled out this risk management system in year 2016 or 17. So at that time, it was not so inclusive to enter the correct or understand the correct risk and its mitigation plan and its ownership. So then again, the survey was conducted by the professional body and make the baseline data for every installations based on their own individual risk, and it need to be addressed that every installation frontline executive has a actual familiarization with what is the risk and how they are mitigating it. Accordingly, we have to plan in our database and risk register and continuously review this risk, have a mitigation plan, keeping a budget in system in the whole addressing this risk, which is not at present available in these systems. So risk is always available. Whether you see it, it is a latent risk is also available within the operations. So we can address the risk based on your own operations, environment, business, legal, and regulator compliances. So main risk is basically environmental risk and business risk that is related to supply, and we are continuously making ourselves in dependence stage because hydrocarbon production continuously depleting. So we are intensively depend on that and switch over. We are GAIL's endeavor is very fantastic in that, changing their conventional energy to the green energy. This is a focus, and it is aligned with the national targets and continuously adopting this. And apart from this, a few processes, for example, one process which is creating a very important environmental risk, but not taken in the notice from last 4 or 5 years, but I got chance to address this risk in internal audit. That is the approximately 50-55 ton of carbon dioxide as a byproduct is released into the atmosphere, which created a adverse impact not only the adjoining flora and fauna, but humankind also. So I make this point and address to the management. Although GAIL is adopting international standards to addressing this risk, and I think carbon capture and storage is the only solution for that particular risk. And after my completing journey, I am not aware about what is happening there. So this is all about this my second part of journey in installations, important installation at GAIL India Limited.
Amazing, amazing, Mr. Sharma. All right, so that's such an eye-opening perspective, Mr. Sharma. It's incredible how something so crucial can go unnoticed until it becomes a major issue. But in today's interconnected world, businesses aren't just operating within borders, they are navigating a maze of global regulations, each with its own complexity and expectations. And you have worked extensively with both national and international standard practices. So you have seen firsthand how different regions approach compliance, governance, and risk management. So what I would like to ask you is, from your experience, what are the biggest differences in global regulatory frameworks? And more importantly, how do businesses successfully adapt without getting overwhelmed?
Correct, Sunny. The rule and regulations, just weightage of rule regulation and their compliance is changing in due to the many factors. One of them is that changing the regime in particular region. If they are particularly, for example, for one country that is very, very passionate for implement the environmental regulations at but their standard, but changing due to the change in the regime, now this regulation is not so compliable, and another factor which is contributing the GHG emission or all that is coming to picture. So individual country blocks are following the international standards for addressing the ESG governing framework. Say, in case of India, we are following the science-based target initiatives, GHG emission initiatives, as per the treaty of global treaty, that in that apart from India, many countries are participated. But in this particular system, or addressing this whole world is changing from non-conventional, conventional to non-conventional source of energy. So every block is following a different set of standards. So in that particular scene, India is in the leading position and regularly adopting the ESG governance framework by adopting the non-conventional sources of energy regularly, and recently passed the threshold limit of 100 megawatt power generated through the non-conventional source of energy. And apart from this, at the global standard, India is also leading a rollout a important platform that is called OSOBOG, One Sun, One Grid, One Nations. So one world, one nation, one grid. So in that way, many countries or many organizations or economies joining the hand with this very wonderful drive, which address the global warming and climate change. Because climate change and global warming pose an adverse impact in all businesses, whether it is a hydrocarbon or whether hydrocarbon in the three phase, whether it is a upstream explorations and distribution and downstream consumer intensive industry like CGD. So it is posing the threat continuously. And apart from this, in the business scenario, the CGD sector, this particular section of ECG governance is posing an adverse business threat to CGD, because evaluation of the electrical vehicle transportation, and see in example of railway, we are adopting continuously green energy, adopting and making a contract to accept the green energy and roll out the hydrogen generated trains. So these are the very, very good initiatives industry-wise, particularly industrial sector. India is leading positions. But apart from this, in European countries, they are intensive not for globally, but investor point of view. So they are following IGGCC platform, standard platform for adopting or controlling this emission framework. So they are most intensively on the basis of finance and investing point of view. But now in the US is turning in the apart from this ESG norms and withdraw this from the United Nations Convention Treaty for this climate change. So that is very, I mean, think adverse conditions. But India is now leading the very front runner, and we are meeting this system in a very fine way. And apart from this, GAIL is so confident to achieve their emission target or net zero target. They are rescheduled their target from 2040 to 2035 because a very, very good system is available with the GAIL and very confident. And not in the GAIL, but other leading organizations like ONGC, IOC, Reliance, they are also putting their net zero target far, far before the India target, that is 2070. So this is all about from my side regarding these regulations, geopolitics, and all that.
That's such a fascinating breakdown, Mr. Sharma. It's incredible how businesses today have to juggle so many different regulatory landscapes. And as you pointed out, the key isn't just compliance, it's adaptability. So, Mr. Sharma, with an incredible career spanning over 3 decades, you have already made a significant impact in risk management, internal audits, and operations. But great leaders never stop evolving. So, looking ahead, what excites you the most about the future? And are there any professional milestones you are still aiming for?
Well, Sunny, I would like to indicate one important sector which is not or which can improve substantially by adopting a or by intervening a regulators, or presently the government is a regulator for that. That is a CSR. CSR is a very important factor which take care of the planet or ESG rule regulations. So CSR in many audits I go through what the companies are doing. They are spending their CSR amount to enrich their own resources and making the government that we are doing just that. But what is to be done to expand this CSR activity to the lower section of poverty where they are not getting anything? That is a real CSR activity, but not is happening. So government should roll a autonomous platform or autonomous organization to regulate this fund where actually it is needed, not compulsive or pressurized way to adopt the CSR activities. So in my personal capacity, I am suggesting government has to take a call, make a autonomous body to get the fund CSR and disperse it as per the requirement without taking any pressure from any side or without any political party. So this is my last suggestion from this side. And I feel I should be very happy if the independent, without any pressure, I want to expel my expertise, then I am ready to take the advantage and I am ready for that. Without any taking a personal motives, personal motive behind this. So this is all about this.
That's truly inspiring, Mr. Sharma, and it's incredible to see that even with such a accomplished career, you are focusing on still on growth, impact, and shaping the future. Mr. Sharma, ESG is no longer just a corporate buzzword; it's a fundamental shift in how businesses operate and are held accountable. And with your vast experience in internal audit, risk management, and regulatory compliance, how do you see ESG transforming industries like energy and infrastructure?
Correct. In energy sector, India, as I told in earlier discussion, India is taking a role to transform this energy sector, completely changing from conventional to non-conventional energies and taking a lead position. Not only the India, but Indian companies also adopting this governing system. to address their emission norms. And then this is controlled by the three factors. Number, scope 1 emission, which can control by the individual entity, which is in the operation, directly controlled from operation, that is a controllable and measurable for particular industry. That is come in the scope 1. So in scope 1, the Indian companies are aggressively adopting and controlling this environmental emission risk or problems. But in the energy sector, continuously changing from conventional to non-conventional source of energy, as I quoted example from the, not in the non-conventional solar wind, but recently nuclear is also added for this source as a non-conventional source of energy. And in transportation sector or infrastructure, basically railway is in the leading position for adopting this environmental aspect for their operation or tracking system. They are opting for green energy. Continuously, they are making a ventures which put their energy as a green and non-conventional energy sources. So continuously, and apart from this, recently a hydrogen train is supposed to be launched by Ministry of Railway. So it's a wonderful step toward this, addressing the governance in the infrastructure sector. And energy sector, we are leading. As I told you earlier, the government of India opened up the platform for the world, also one sun, one world, one grid. And many countries are joining because they are very cautious for the environmental impact or risks. So they are joining the India's this motive, and the theme is behind one sun, one world. The sun is taken geography negative side or dark side, then other side is generating the energy. So that will be supplied to the country or geography where it is required. So this is a wonderful platform, and I hope that India will be leading position for this addressing the ESG governing systems.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mr. Sharma. And that's such an important perspective. You know, it's clear that ESG isn't just a regulatory requirement. It's about building resilient businesses for the future. One last question, Mr. Sharma. You have joined Directors Institute, and it's a significant step for professionals looking to strengthen their expertise in corporate governance and board leadership. Since becoming a part of the Institute, how has the experience been for you, and what aspects of the program have stood out?
Thank you, Sunny. This is my fortune to enter with your directors program. With the initially, I got triggered from some classes news in the public platforms. So I think now I am got superannuated. Why not entering in this particular platform, wonderful platform, which give me or roll out a wonderful opportunity for me to interact the business leaders, networking, and exchange your technology and wonderful things is happening around the world. So I'm very fortunate to get your platform, Directors Institute, and it is very friendly to address the intellectual customer like me to immediately address my queries and all that. So I feel very wonderful. And your system, which is generated for quoting the examination and all that canvas, which is already familiar with. And the last my assignment in IIM Lucknow. So get the fintech banking and risk management from IIM Lucknow. So I'm very conducive for or competitively for this canvas system. So this is wonderful platform, wonderful system, wonderful governance, and wonderful anchors. So this is all what my side. Thanks, Sunny.
And it's wonderful to hear that, Mr. Sharma. You know, it's always great to see accomplished professionals like yourself continuing to invest in growth and governance excellence. Mr. Sharma, let me tell you, this conversation has been nothing short of insightful. From your incredible journey spanning over 3 decades to your expertise in risk management, internal audits, and corporate governance. You have given us a masterclass in leadership, adaptability, and the evolving role of governance in today's business world. Your perspective on ESG, regulatory frameworks, and the importance of forward thinking leadership have truly left a lasting impact. So, Mr. Sharma, thank you once again for sharing your experiences and insights. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. I again thank you very much and feel privileged to interact with you, this wonderful platform, world development platform for directors. Thank you very much, and I am happy to see you, Sunny. Wonderful.
And to our audience, I hope this episode has given you valuable takeaways on how businesses can navigate risk, stay compliant, and build stronger governance structures. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe to FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute. Share this episode with your network and leave us a review. We would love to hear your thoughts. Stay tuned for more inspiring conversations with industry leaders who are shaping the future of business, governance, and leadership. Thank you so much and have a nice time.